there, friends. Welcome back to Second Star to the Left. I'm Michelle, and this is my daughter, Billy.
Hi.
And here's where we'll share board game reviews, ramblings, and a few wrong turns along the scenic route. If you've ever watched the channel before, you might know that I love button shy games. And one of the very first button shy games I ever got was Sprawlopolis. And now we have all the Opolis. We have Sprawlopolis, Agropolis, Naturopolis, and Combopolis. So I thought it would be fun to share with you all the Opolis, let you know how they play, what's similar, what's different, which one's my favorite, and to show you not only Combopolis, but Ultimopolis, which Button Shy was kind enough to send our way. So let's start with the original, the one that made me love Button Shy in the beginning, and that one is Sprawlopolis. For the purpose of this video, I am not going to talk about the expansions for any of these, except for the Ultimopolis expansion for Combopolis. I am simply going to talk about the base game. There are wonderful expansions that change up how you score, that add trickier conditions to how you lay out cards, that add a little bit of fun with Rectar stomping through this city.
Rectar?
Rectar, not Reptar.
Not Reptar?
Not Reptar.
Wait, I thought you were just saying Reptar wrong. I'm sorry.
Rectar.
Similar to, but legally distinct from.
Anyway, like I said, no expansions for the purpose of this video. And I'm going to start with Sprawlopolis, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it plays. For the most part, all three of these play very similarly.
There you go. Nailed it.
For each of these games, you're going to have cards. And on one side, you have the 4 spaces to lay out your grid, and on the other side you have the scoring conditions, so they each serve 2 purposes. Give these a good shuffle, and then you're going to draw 3 of these cards to be your scoring conditions. For this one, we're going to pick out just central perks, the outskirts, and go green. I just want to use these 3 as an example of the types of scoring cards that you might get. You have central perks, and in central perks, you get 1 point per park block located on the interior of the city, but you lose 2 points for every park block on the edge of the city.
Nice.
All right, we could do that one. We have the outskirts, so you get 1 point per road that does not extend to the edge of the city, and you lose 1 point per road that does end at the edge of the city. Watch those roads. And in the third one, we have go green. So you get 1 point per park block that's exposed in your city and -3 points for every industrial block that's exposed in your city. If you were playing this with more than one person, and I very, very rarely do, you would take 3 cards and deal it to the first person. Everyone else would get 1. And then as you play, the cards would be passed around the table. When you're playing solo, you're going to take 3 cards. You're going to choose which card you'd like to start with.
I play sometimes.
You heckle sometimes. You can put that card right in the center, and then you're going to be building off of this one. And each turn, you're going to draw up 1 so that you have 3 cards in your hand to choose from at all times. I often get so excited to choose a card that I choose the top one all the time. So I try to make sure that I mix them up so that I pay attention to what's going on. In addition to the 3 scoring conditions that we drew, there are scoring conditions that apply for every game that you play. You're going to score 1 point per block for your largest group of each type, and you're going to lose 1 point for every road. So if you have a whole bunch of little pieces of road, they're going to add up against you. When you place your cards, you can either place them adjacent, or you can put them on top if they line up. What you can't do is turn them just 90 degrees. You could turn them 180 degrees. You can cover up more than 1 block. You can do all of those things to try and
cover up all 4 and just totally hide a card.
I would imagine you can. I don't see any reason why you couldn't. You can't place one so that it touches diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't start off a whole nother bit of a city. So basically, you just have to make sure that they are connected orthogonally. You're going to keep drawing up your hand to 3 and laying down cards until you have placed all of the cards from the draw pile, and then you tally up the scores. I have played endless hours of Sprawlopolis. Billy and I have played 2-player. I have never played at a higher player count than that, even though technically I think you can play up to 4 people. I think it would be a little chaotic. And also, I have control issues, and I always want to know where those cards are going to be placed.
Somebody puts a card in the wrong place, you get very upset.
A bit of quarterbacking. So it is co-op. You're all building the same map, and you're all heading for the same objectives. So if I have this beautiful game about city building, or city sprawling, as the case may be, why would I want... why would I want more? Well, first of all, because one button shy game is never enough. But second of all, because then they came out with Agropolis, and Agropolis had a farm theme, which is more appealing to me than a city theme. So what's different about Agropolis?
There's farms instead of cities. Nailed it.
There are farms, and there are also pigs and cows and chickens. And you're going to get points by grouping those animals together. You are still in...
Delicious.
You are still, like in Sprawlopolis, going to be always scoring for your largest group of each color, and you're still going to be losing 1 point for every road that goes through your farmland. The farm animals make a nice little extra challenge. I was going to say make it a nice crunchy challenge, but I think referring to the farm animals as crunchy.
Bacon.
Maybe later on. But that said, they make a nice little challenge. So if I have Sprawlopolis...
Yes.
And I have Agropolis.
Yes.
And they play with almost the same rules.
Yes.
Should I have passed up the next one?
No.
No, absolutely not. Third in the series, we have Naturopolis, which obviously focuses a little bit more on nature. And so you have forests, you have lakes, you have rivers now as well as roads. And you even have little tents in the camping areas. It's very adorable. Also in this one, as far as the objectives that remain the same throughout all the games, you still lose points for the road, but because we're in nature, you're now going to lose 2 points for every road. Because we don't want roads going through the forest and going where we're camping. We'll accept to get our camping gear in, but after
we
that,
have to get in
no.
there somehow.
We're not hiking. This one is lovely, and the objectives are... very thematic. I will say that the objectives for each of them, the cute little snappy titles for the objectives, the art, all suit their themes particularly well. Which one's my favorite? Since they all play fairly similar, I am wearing the camp more.
You are,
shirt.
yes.
I am.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that once upon a time, my favorite was Agropolis. But then Naturopolis came out. So now, but...
At first, Sprawlopolis was your favorite, and then Agropolis came out, and then Naturopolis came out.
This is all very, very true. Here's the thing, though. In order of my favorites, my first favorite is Naturopolis. I love this one so much. I've played this way more than any of the others. And that's saying something.
They were all your favorite at one point.
And that's saying something since Sprawlopolis was my first, and I was so... in love with it that I just kept playing it over and over. There is one card in Naturopolis that makes me smile every time I get it, and that's Bigfoot Country, where you get 2 points for every forest block that does not have a campsite and is not on the edge, as if there were these little hidden pockets of forests where Bigfoot could hide, and you get points if you leave that undisturbed. I think that's adorable. I think it's funny.
That's awesome.
And it also is easy to remember when you're trying to remember all your goals. So now you have 3 sets, and you think, hey, Michelle, what if I wanted to play more than one at a time? These cards don't match up.
That's impossible. It can't be done.
It can be done.
No way.
Next out, we have this lovely Combopolis expansion collection.
Combopolis, definitely the most fun to say.
It is. Combopolis is the best one to say. Originally, we had Combopolis that let you play Sprawlopolis and Agropolis, but then Naturopolis came out, and we wanted to be able to mix and match all of them, and Button Shy said, sure, we can do that. So in here, we have volumes 1, 2, and 3. One lets you play Sprawlopolis and Agropolis, one lets you play Agropolis and Naturopolis, and one lets you play Sprawlopolis and Naturopolis. You can mix them in any order you want. Each of these expansions is 6 cards, and what you're going to do is shuffle these up and then choose one objective from the expansion collection and one objective from each of the 2 games that you are combining. And in this case, I grabbed Naturopolis and Agropolis. And so those would be your 3 objectives. Then you are going to take one of the Combopolis cards and set it out in the center for you to build off of. This card will have a combination of the 2 sets that you are playing together so that you can build off it in any direction.
That's pretty cool.
At the end, you're going to score in the same way, and the only difference is if you are playing with Naturopolis, you only deduct 1 point for the roads because you're combining it with, a farmland or a sprawling urban center, and so you can put the roads on that side. So you're only going to lose 1 point per road. Then you score for your largest group of each color.
I don't know how to get that.
And you score for the drawn conditions. So now you can combine any 2. If you get all the cards mixed up, which I might have done, in the Combopolis collection, there's a nice list for each version that tells you which cards you need. So if they get shuffled into the other decks, it's very easy to find them and put them back where they belong.
As you've had to do many times, I assume.
I have had to do that many times. But still, what if I was feeling really crazy one day and I decided that I wanted to play with all of the sets? Don't worry, Button Shy has you covered there too, because there is Ultimopolis. Woo. And in Ultimopolis, you're going to do exactly that. You are going to combine all 3 of these sets. So you are going to have these 6 scoring conditions. You're going to shuffle them up. You're going to draw 1 to be the scoring condition for this group. You are going to then flip over scoring conditions for each of the other groups. And you are going to choose one of these cards to be your starting point. And each of these cards will have a block from all 3 plus 1 other random block, depending on which you choose. You then set the Ultimopolis cards to the side, and you play exactly the same as you would with any of the other sets. Here's the catch. Sprawlopolis on its own, or Agropolis, or Naturopolis, can actually be kind of a sprawling little card game, depending on how much you're overlapping the cards and how you've designed your city or your farm or your campground. If you play Ultimopolis, you are going to play out all of these cards.
You're gonna need a lot of table space.
It is going to
possibly floor space.
It is going to take a lot more space. It is also a lot more challenging to keep all of these scoring conditions going because you're constantly drawing from the decks. Is Ultimopolis the game that I would pull out every time? No. I don't always have space every time, and I love to throw one of the Opolis in a bag and take it to work or take it on a trip or take it basically anywhere. Ultimopolis is for a fun afternoon of taking over the entire table and seeing what you can do. Trying to get all of these scoring conditions when you are playing with 3 separate decks of cards is often tricky. And what winds up happening is you're just kind of building out each group on its own in order to meet those scoring conditions. The only catch is the Ultimopolis scoring condition where you're looking for something that's a little bit more combined.
You want to combine stuff in the combining version?
You do want to combine stuff in the combining version. Who knew?
Who would have guessed?
Like I said, there are expansions for all the Opolis, except Naturopolis, but I'd imagine that's coming. And they all add something wonderful to those games. They can be played separately, they can be played combined. If you haven't tried any, I really recommend that you do. If you've played Button Shy, chances are you probably tried Sprawlopolis along the lines, or maybe one of the other Opolis. Have you tried them all? Which one is your favorite? Now that I have told you my favorite, we are off to make a solo-ish video where I will play through it so that you can have a look. Maybe, just maybe, we will attempt to play Ultimopolis as a solo video one of these days. But for now, please let me know which of these you've tried, which is your favorite, and which you're looking forward to the most. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see,
or if you'd like to keep watching until we get one right,
then please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to find us on social media, all that information can be found below, including how to jump into our Discord, where we have an entire channel dedicated to talking about Button Shy games. Or if you'd like to support us on our Patreon, all that information is there as well.
I'm on Twitch sometimes.
Every now and then, surprise Twitch streams.
They can happen anytime.
They can, and they tend to be video games, so sometimes we play things that aren't board games. Hop over and check it out. As always, open tables, open minds, and play yourselves.
Bye!
There are farms. There's also kickins.
What's the domesticated? That's the word I was looking for.
I don't think that's the one we're going to use, though. My shirt looks
There's kickins? They got kickins?
Kickins. Fried kickins.
Do they have I couldn't think of a funny thing for the others.
Okay.
You're wearing a shirt that says Camp More. I feel like it's not a surprise.
Spoilers. Okay. Third in the series. That was really loud. But why did you laugh at
I
me?
don't know, that was just a weird pause.
Let's try again because you made me feel bad.
No, it's fine. You've been very excited about this one.
I have been very excited about this one.